welcome back to Autism, A New Perspective, the podcast show where we help you understand what is going on in the mind of your child. And we always encourage you that growth for your child is possible. I'm Kat Lee, and in this week's podcast, I visited with Andreja Stefulj. Based in London, she leads the RDI professional training in Europe and the Balkans and is an RDI consultant, as well as being certified as a yoga teacher for neurodiverse individuals. Andreja started her career as a primary and secondary school teacher, and we talked about her passion for involving the entire family in RDI. But first, I wanted to know why she turned to RDI herself. Let's listen in.
I think for me, coming from the professional field, deep down, I was very frustrated and I didn't feel empowered. I felt like something is missing. I'm not, I, I don't know who those children with autism are deep down, and I'm not connected to them. I'm not guiding them. So yeah, I was looking constantly for different ways. And I remember many moments when I got frustrated as a professional with ABA. I could see more anxiety on the other side and more dysregulation, and all this dependence around the rewards just didn't resonate with me. So I was searching for better solutions, and probably deep down, I believe that there must be something else. What is available?
I love your story because it, for me, parallels the story that so many parents have as a journey where they feel there has to be something missing, there has to be something else. And it's so interesting that you just tell the story of all these different people who've come to RDI.
And yes, and I remember also many moments when I, as a professional, was like, what are the goals here? What am I working on? Like, who is guiding here? Like all those moments of um, uncertainty, which I handle very difficult. Like, what's the point? How much do I prompt? What is my role there? What are we achieving? And I think the biggest frustration was, okay, there is no generalization. We are not helping those kids to become happier kids, to become thinkers, problem solvers, and independent human beings.
Mm. I, I know that you focus as you work with parents on involving the whole family, and I think that is another great thing. It's great enough that in RDI we're empowering parents. I mean, that's huge. But what I like about one of the reasons I wanted to talk to you today was I know you really want to empower the whole family.
Mhm.
And again, something missing. We know parent empowerment is missing, but family empowerment has been missing. Why do you think the family is so important in this process?
Well, I'm gonna go back a little bit to my childhood now. I don't share often this story, but I think it's a perfect moment now. So I grew up in a family where my older sister is, she was born with some needs.
Mm.
And all my life, so it's 2 years, we are 2 years apart, and all my life I walked next to her. So me observing my mom and dad, they didn't have RDI, but they tried the best they could. And for me, that feeling or of getting involved the whole family from inside out, it's super important. And I remember myself as a sibling, so many times there were moments when I felt I need more support as a sibling. I'm confused. I don't know how to bond, how to develop healthy relationship, and how to be confident around all this. So having this experience, I think it helps me a lot with families. But again, in RDI, we don't skip things, and it's a very gradual process, and it takes a lot of time. So there is no point to go and work with siblings if we don't help parents to develop their own relationship with their child. Uh, but is it possible to go then and do things, transfer RDI to other family members? Absolutely, yes. I see this all over again. It takes time, it takes a lot of effort, but also I think as we talk more to families that this is a possibility at some point, and we are walking together towards that goal, then families become a little bit more open and they start to process that, this is another element of RDI and it's so, so powerful. Because deep down we are working on developing relationships, whether that is between a parent and a child or a sibling and brother or sister. It's a relationship, right? And it's super important that siblings feel confident and competent.
I just think about the loss for the children if they don't have that guiding relationship with their siblings or their grandparents. Because now sometimes through circumstances nobody can control, those things are not possible. We know that. Sadly,
Mhm.
life is not perfect, as we know. But when they're available and when they're able to be, I think it's so sad if they're not able to engage in that way together. So, what do you think?
Yes, absolutely. I mean, that affects the whole family, I think.
Mhm.
But I have one beautiful story. It's a true story with one family who I work with. We've been on for about 3 years, 3.5 years. It was extremely difficult at the beginning, and but parents they made it. So they developed beautiful relationship with their son, and then we started at some point. It was a Christmas time, and we started. But again, me suggesting to families, okay, what about other family members? Are they gonna come around your house? And I remember this mother, she said, yeah, they will come, they always come, but nobody wants to engage with our son. And for me, that was the starting point.
Mhm. Mhm. That had to be hard for her to tell you. I mean,
Yes, that was the starting point. And then imagine, so that was not last Christmas, Christmas before.
mm,
So we started to work step by step. It was very painful. Like those moments are very, very, parents are very sensitive because they have a long history of failures around other people, uh, engagements with their children. So we started slowly, and this first Christmas was not easy, but
mm,
now on the second Christmas, uh, she sent me videos of other family members engaging with their son, doing the games.
mm,
And
oh,
after Christmas, another video came through. It was uncle who hasn't seen the boy or hasn't engaged with the boy like since he got diagnosis. They play together.
that is really beautiful. Do
And
you?
then and
Oh,
then she was like, "Can you please look at this video? I know now I'm so good at reflecting back and giving him tips, but is there anything else? He's now so open to get tips." And
wow,
I'm like, oh, that's a huge step.
it's beautiful. What would you say to, because I'm thinking like a parent who's listening to us, how do you help parents if some of the family members are a bit resistant? And we don't judge. People can be resistant for all kinds of reasons.
Mhm.
But what we try to do as consultants is if they have obstacles, help them solve their obstacles. but I still know those family dynamics can be sensitive. And
Mhm,
what do you do if
mhm,
we want the grandparents or in-laws or whoever it may be to be more involved
mhm,
and you find resistance? Do you just try to work through that?
mhm, mhm. So I think that's a great question. What to do, where to start from? So I think first you have to start this conversation with parents, and you need to parents need to develop those foundations with a child. So if the child becomes confident in playing some game with parents, then I think 70% is already done, right? This child feels confident and competent.
Mm,
Then I guide parents, okay, how you gonna explain people or put that expectation out? Maybe for some people it's too difficult and it's too late when they come to your house. Maybe you just share in advance a video of you playing with your child, with family members, and say, oh, my child can do this, or we enjoy playing this game, or we enjoy making this, whatever they make. So you start very slowly, and let's say you share the video, one, two, three, or it doesn't have to be video, even the text message. I've done this and my child can do it. And then when they come to your house, maybe you just play in front of them.
mm,
So this mother, she was like, oh, but I don't know what to do with myself. I now have house full on. My child is dysregulated. I need to pay attention to my guests, my family members, and I don't know what to do with him. And majority of the time, he would just be like dysregulated, and I try to engage him with iPad or something else. So then we work on this. Okay, how can you organize this time and maybe just start to play in front of everyone for 2 minutes? You don't put any demands on other family members. But if people see you in action, you're helping them that way to build their own confidence and competence. One thing is just to tell and ask people to do it, but when you
mm.
actually show, and I remember that with this mom, then I said, okay, then you have full table and just throw this idea. We need one more player. And wait, who's gonna say, I'm gonna do it, I'm ready.
Well, I feel invited by you just listening to you to play. What I
Gradually and mindfully. I like this idea of mindful guiding, which Dr. Gassin talks a lot about. But when I work with families, it's always like, okay, how can I use that moment as a RDI consultant? How can we think together mindfully to do slowly whatever we want to do it?
I love you slow down the process. I think one of the things that happens to us as parents is we can see the whole picture of everything going wrong.
Yeah,
And what you've done is you've said, stop looking at the whole,
yeah,
stop looking at that whole picture and just
yeah,
start playing.
yeah,
And, you know, as a parent, I think I can, when you start talking about the parent talking to you, I could just so feel that feeling
yeah.
that wells up inside of you that just seems like it's impossible suddenly. And I love that you just bring it back down to a slower pace and just do this.
Yeah.
Don't worry about this. I think that really helps parents.
Yeah.
Uh, we we just
And it's so hard to start because it can be messy and overwhelming. So where do we start from? What is that like starting point when we talk about other family members, siblings, where do you start from?
Mhm.
Again, you don't start with something big, you start with something very small and something meaningful. And I think once when, as I said, if child knows what to do, it's much easier because then you need parent to navigate another adult. Whoever's gonna get involved or sibling. So it's kind of then that role of my role as a consultant actually changes. So then parent becomes kind of like a consultant for that person who is involved in the whole process, which is beautiful, right?
Yeah.
So then parents guide, but again, for this part, it takes time. And sometimes I also do workshops for siblings or family members and friends. Friends are also very important. We know that families struggle with friendships once when they get diagnoses. Yeah, I do this as well. But again, families, they start RDI, they change their own beliefs and mindset, and then they organize and invite family members and friends.
That's a beautiful process.
It is, but all sorts of things come out.
I
It's not an
imagine.
easy.
No.
It's not easy. And what I see, I work a lot in inclusion, and I go to different schools, and I used to be full time in education system. But what I see, Kat, many people on this planet, they want to do it, but they don't know how. They want to engage and they try once. They don't know, even know where to position themselves with their bodies when they're in engagements, or what to say, where to look. So it's very uncomfortable for many people how to start the engagement with autistic individual. So we need to support them. We need to educate them. It's not that they don't want.
Mm.
Many people want, but they don't know how, including siblings and family members. So parents are very vulnerable because they go through a lot of failures and they take that very personal. Uh, my other family member doesn't want to engage, doesn't have time, and just all sorts of reasons people come up with. But deep down, there is a fear. There is a fear, and there is this lack of competence and confidence. I don't know how to do it. So we need to work on this.
And thanks for joining us for Autism, A New Perspective, the podcast show where we help you understand what is going on in the mind of your child. And we encourage you that growth for your child is possible. I'm Kat Lee. See you next time.